We're about to shoot a shot.
All right, welcome to another exciting episode of Gripping Golf Podcast. I'm your host, Billy Daniels, here with Dave Miller. Dave, you're the wrestling aficionado in this podcast. Is there anything happening in the wrestling world today that you need to let us know about?
Well, it's Friday night, so that means It's a live episode of SmackDown and also a live episode of Rampage. So yeah, there's lots going on. But
interesting. I did not have those pegged on my calendar to watch, but maybe I should.
They're on my DVR.
Okay,
yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. I don't have a DVR that I know of. But great.
I'll fill you in.
Okay, good. Please. Yeah. But this is going to be a fun episode. Before we get to the episode, let's make sure that everyone knows that we do have the sponsors that are below in the description of the podcast or in the YouTube link. If you're watching us and getting to see our beautiful faces, you're seeing a third person on here with us right now that you're thinking, I don't think that's a Gripping Golf podcast host there, but it's Jake Englebrake of the Amateur Players Tour is with us today. We're going to talk about all things Amateur Players Tour today because the season's coming. It's 2022. We've gone into the new year. So Jake, how the heck are you?
I'm fantastic, man. Thanks for having me on. This is a long time coming. Been excited to do this.
It has. It's been since Adam's Point last year where, I approached you in the most professional manner of all things. And you thought, gosh, who is this handsome looking guy that just looks like he does everything podcasting? No. But yeah, it has been a long time coming. We've been doing messages back and forth and really excited to have you on the show. And thanks to Dave to really probably making this happen for us.
Yeah. I had to find an alternative route because I couldn't get through to you.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You're not alone. Don't worry. You're not alone. Everyone's like, gosh, he never replies. What's the deal here? Yeah. So that's why Dave's here. He does nothing other than just make sure that we have organization. No, that's not true. But yeah, how are things going? How did the new year go for you, buddy?
New Year was great, man. It was pretty quiet. That's kind of how we like it around here. We actually rented a little space at one of the simulator places that you might know called the Golf Stable.
Yes, I do know of that place. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's about 6 of us that went down there and played golf for like 5 hours.
Oh my gosh, that sounds horrible. I can't believe you would do such a terrible thing. Yeah,
it was a terrible way to spend it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty calm and just had a good time.
Plenty of 6-packs of Coke, I'm assuming, and
there wasn't a lot. Yeah, there wasn't a lot that went down adult wise either. It was pretty mellow, man.
That's good.
It was good. Yeah,
that's good.
We got out of there right as the nastiness started coming down, so it was perfect timing.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was I don't know the nastiness you're referring to because I was in Arizona for the new year, so I have no idea what was going on. Yeah. So
yeah. No,
you got lucky.
My truck was a sheet of ice when I got home.
Oh my gosh. Well, glad you're safe. That's the first thing that I'm really happy for. But yeah, what else has been going on? What are you excited about going into the year? You got any goals going in, maybe golf wise or personal wise or anything like that?
With businesses, those are obviously the goals is to make sure the businesses are successful. As far as personal goals with golf, I don't get to play near as much as I used to. So, my handicap is now up to like a 5.7, which I'd love to be back down to like a 1 again, but we'll see. Not playing a whole lot, not really getting any lessons. Because there's no point in going taking a lesson and not touching golf clubs for 2 or 3 years.
you get better, but you don't know you're getting better if you're doing that.
Yeah. So for me, it's just, I'm looking forward to traveling and doing some of the big events as far as golf goes and having some fun with that. And then obviously with the Amateur Players Tour, would love to exceed what we did last year. And I think we have a good chance at doing that. Last year was a good year for first year for us.
Yeah.
But we gained a lot of traction and I think we'll exceed what we did last year. So that's the goal with the Amateur Players Tour, just to be better every year.
That's all. I think you guys have set yourself up for nothing but success. And, word of mouth was incredible tour. I was anxious a little bit to do it. And actually Tom Clifford, who's been on the podcast before and is a phenomenal golfer. One out there at Sycamore Ridge. I texted him, I go, should I do it? And he goes, hell yeah. It's well run. Just do it. You'll love it. And no regrets that I did it last year. I only played one event, but this year,
to change that.
Yeah, exactly. We'll play a lot more. So, well, I'm going to toss it over to Dave because he's going to kick us off into actually getting into the Amateur Players Tour. He's got these lists of questions, but I'll chime in because Dave steers it, but then I just take it over.
Okay. I don't even know if I steer it. It's, I just throw something out there.
He primes the engine a little bit and then I get going.
Yeah.
So
for me, it's like, it's the cat toy. I put the little dangly thing out there and then Billy goes insane. So
yeah, I get it. Yeah.
It's all good.
On
it works. So, well, I mean, the first obvious question is, tell us about the Amateur Players Tour. What is it? What's the goal? And just fill us in. Let us know. Tell everybody.
Yeah.
So the Amateur Player Tour was created by guys that have played for many years on different amateur tours. Matt and Jody are the two, I guess you'd say, proprietors of it. They both came from opposing tours, both as directors and players, and saw the downfalls, I guess you could say, and the lack of willingness to change. And they wanted to do something better. So they left. Matt left from the St. Louis tour, and it was just in St. Louis for like 2 years. He had over 200 members in St. Louis. So his events, even he was selling out, the nice country clubs down there, Persimmon and all those other places. He was selling those out with 128, 144 players on Mondays. Oh, wow. So he had a really good following, but he was kind of the start for running this the way it should be run. I used to go down and play in some of his events when he was with the old tour, and he did it unlike anybody else did, with multiple people helping out at check-in, doing announcements, and having their own custom tee markers and just stuff that made it feel big tents and made it really feel like kind of a tour experience that everybody else lacked, and people like that. So that's why his tour grew so big. And so that was one of the things they really wanted to incorporate. And so there's quite a handful of us, I don't know, maybe 15 that were at our wits' end with the old tour and the ownership there. And so after last 2020, a bunch of us left and joined APT and really bought into the vision and the experience and making it, something that was really built by the players for the players. That's the motto. That's the whole idea, is give players the experience. And so I stopped playing in my own events. That way I could run them, do first tee announcements, be there. And we're always modifying it and taking player suggestions and ways to improve that experience. And, my year is going to change a little bit as far as how we do stuff too. So we're going to be doing at what Nationals was an incredible experience where they did scoring at 18th green, behind 18th green of every course we played at Pinehurst. There was a scoring tent. So everybody pulled up, did your scoring, verified all your scores. I mean, it was just like walking into a tour tent. And so that was really cool having that kind of experience. So that's what the APT is about, is just really providing that next level of experience. There's other tours you can play the same kind of stuff. We have 5 flights, it's handicapped. So you're playing against only players that are in your same handicap, same range, but it's scratch from that standpoint. We do our tee box adjustments differently than the other tours to make it fair for everybody, make it fair for people over 60. So we have some really unique things to our tour that differentiate it, to elevate that player experience. And that's pretty much what it's about, but it's just an amateur tour. So no, you can't be a professional. You can't be a PGA teaching pro or something like that. But just true amateurs, going out, having a good time, getting that competition, that competitive experience that you don't really get with everybody else. When I was at the old tour, it was a lot about just drinking beer and hanging out with your buddies. Well, then you start to leave people by the wayside that you're not buddies with per se, and so now that we've switched that mentality with APT, now it's a lot more focused on every player. So I've got to know all my players, and that's a big deal.
That's definitely, it's interesting. You said a couple things, and one you didn't say, but I think it's interesting from elevating the players and making them feel better, not better than they are, but really giving them that tour experience. And I think it's funny when you think about amateur tour or amateur players and stuff like that. And going back to high school days, going back to even now, even when you announced my name at the first tee of Adams Point, still heart palpitations, adrenaline starts pumping, and all those things that you just said of, having the scoring 10 at the end of it. God, it just elevates it. It makes you feel so freaking cool at that point. You're like you are part of something. And it made me feel really good that the term that I would use is you got rid of the good old boys club of this is, we come in here and this is what we do. And, we don't know Mark over there, so we're not going to talk to Mark. And, maybe he'll let him in if he hangs around enough. So that's really cool that you've elevated that level of, I guess, customer service, customer experience that you're going to have with the tour and joining this. Cause I mean, you do have to pay to be part of it, but at the same time, I think you get your dollars worth for sure. So even down to, you get like a welcome gift, right? I think that's right.
So this is part of where the elevate the experience has come in. Almost every amateur tour has some sort of a goodie bag, right? That you get for joining. But what our players also get is we have huge national partners that give our players massive discounts. So we have, I think this year there's 6 windows that open up with Turtleson apparel. And Turtleson, you see a lot of guys on tour wearing Turtleson. That's what I'm wearing right now. It's really nice golf apparel. But our players get 40% off of Turtleson apparel, like 6 times a year. Yeah. So when they get ready to bring out a new collection, essentially, they open up the shop, and it's on our website. So the guys go to our website and they can click on the Turtleson apparel shop and they can shop all the APT logoed stuff. And then, so they get 40% off that. 2 under, the Joey Pouch, Ricky Fowler stuff. Our members get 20% off, mostly all 2 under stuff. So anything that's like NCAA logoed or, already on clearance, you don't get, but everything else, they get discounts on that. Motive CBD, if you're a CBD user, that stuff's becoming super popular. Motive is one of the cleanest ones. It's all made in the United States. They get 20% off that. Budget Avis rental cars up to 35%, 35% off rental cars. I mean, I saved close to $400 on my rental down at Pinehurst, and I've just saved another like $240 on my rental in Orlando. So, and they're working on more and more sponsors and partners for the tour that benefit our player. Blue Tees, our guys get discount on Blue Tees rangefinders. So there's all sorts of stuff that this tour has done at a national level that benefits the players more than just a nice goodie bag. So, So your membership goes a lot farther, stretches a lot farther than a bag and a towel, right? It gets you stuff throughout one use of a rental car, you've paid for your membership and then some.
Yeah. That all those products that you're mentioning is just incredible. And it just makes me think, gosh, you're creating an environment or an ecosystem of which you're just going to continue to grow. It's going to compound. Here's somebody that's getting into the game of golf or is trying their hand at playing in some competitive nature. I think the gentleman that I played with out of Adams Point, it was his first year doing it, and he had a Blue Tees rangefinder, and he's like, "Yeah, that's why I bought it, because I got a discount on it, and I thought I'd try it out." And he loved it. And I had my own, and we were just like comparing them, and I was like, "Hey, that's pretty sweet, man."
Yeah,
so it's definitely
for the price, especially. Yeah,
heck yeah. So
yeah,
I have one already, but if I need a new one, I'll look to Blue Tees.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, no, I gave one away at the end of the year last year. I did a giveaway, gave some stuff away. That was one of the things I gave away because I bought one just to try it, just to see what it was like. I've got a very nice rangefinder, and no, it's not a Bushnell. Most people wouldn't even know it if I told them which rangefinder it was. But I really like that rangefinder too, but it's a lot of money. Yeah. But I bought a Blue Tees one just to try it out. And if I had already had my other one, that's all I would use. I mean, it worked flawlessly. So I just took it out for one round, compared it to the one I had, because I'm one of those guys that, okay, yes, we can offer you a discount on something, but if I don't buy into the product, I'm not going to suggest it regardless of the discount.
Yeah.
So, because I don't get anything off it. You buy a Blue Tees thing, it doesn't matter. I don't get anything. It doesn't benefit me at all. Right. It's just a benefit for the player. So unless it's actually a good product, I'm not going to tell my guys to go buy it.
Well,
So I spent the money and I bought one. It worked great. And I did a giveaway with it.
yeah, and I think that goes to show just how serious the amateur players tour is. Of they're conscious of their brand, of they want to do work with similar brands that are willing to grow and willing to get into this for the betterment and growth of the game. I think, that's kind of interesting topic there in and of itself is a little bit of, what all you guys, that was your first year last year.
Yeah.
What are you anticipating growth wise for your second year? I mean,
nationally or locally?
Say locally, and then we can go do both.
Okay. So locally, my goal would be to be over 150 members and to sell out our events at 72 players. Last year I sold out almost every single event at 68 players. Wow. So that's my goal again this year, is to sell out my events at 72 players. Luckily I have a really good relationship with the courses and the management groups, Shane Gardner over at Orion. If I ever need anything from any of Shane's courses, I can just call Shane and he'll make it happen. The guy, I love Shane. He's awesome. The guys up at Kemper Sports at Shoal Creek, even though Brett's not there anymore, Rhett's still there and Rhett still takes care of us, and it was a good feeling to have. We had some courses that I didn't think would even do this. For instance, Creekmore. Creekmore doesn't like to do a lot of outside tournaments. And if you've played Creekmore, which I'm sure you both have,
yep, that
course is phenomenal. To me, it's probably the best public course in the city. They actually said, we'll have a tournament, because I'm friends with Austin Jarkow. And so when he was out there, he was able to pull some strings to get me a tournament. They actually emailed me and said, hey, we can't do the membership as, no more Sunday events, no more weekend events because of the membership. But we enjoyed you. We'd like to have you back. Would you consider doing a Monday event? So having them reach out was awesome. Yeah. Falcon Lakes, John and those guys reached out to me and said, hey, Jake, what do you think about having a 2-day or 2 events out here? We really enjoy having you guys out here. The guys over at Winterstone, hey man, we want to limit our amateur tournaments to just you. So, there's other competitors out there, but we're not going to have them. We want you. So get us a date. So having those relationships and those guys that, want to work with you on the courses, that's a big thing as far as growth goes, because people can see that, hey, we're playing, yes, we're playing public courses, right? And our goal is to get to a point where I can entertain the private courses. They say, hey, it's going to be 10 grand for you to come out and play on a Monday. Mm-hmm. We can do that. I can sell out enough spots to do that, and give my guys even a better experience. So that's the ultimate goal. When that'll happen, we'll see, but so locally, I would like to see like 150 members this year. And then maybe next year we crest that 200 mark and we can start looking at the, getting into some private courses, because we compete with Central Links, which great, good on them. It's a completely different experience. It aims for different people. So, but good on them for what they do. If I was back to a scratch or a plus handicap golfer that was free on Mondays and Tuesdays every week, that's, I'd look at it for sure. Yeah. But that's just not, to be competitive, you have to be, kind of in that range. So we kind of want to be there though, as far as having people knock down the door to plan our events at some of these private courses. So that's growth locally. Okay. Nationally, man, last year was something else. When I was talking to Matt, I was one of the first guys they called. Matt thought he had me on lock, which he did. But I did mess with him a little bit. He told Jody, he's like, man, Jody, you're going to love Jake. You guys are like brothers from another mother. I know Kansas City will come. I've got him on lock. Mm-hmm. So then Matt calls me and talks to me, and I just kind of fed him a line of BS and said, well, I really kind of want to see what they're going to come back with this year. And I had already had my letter of non-renewal written up and everything else to send off to him. I was just waiting for them to finalize my year-end stuff and then send them the letter. So I kind of strung Matt along just as a joke, but we anticipated, when I was talking to Matt, maybe 500 or 600 guys nationally. We thought we might have 4 or 5 cities and have 400 or 500 guys nationally. So if you can imagine them being able to develop the relationships, Turtleson was already in the talks. 2 Under was already in the talks. And then for this thing to blow up to 30, I think we're at 3,300 members last year nationally, maybe a little more. That went above and beyond what anybody expected, to the point where Matt, Chris, and Allie all quit their full-time jobs, and now they're doing APT full-time.
Well,
so yeah,
that's incredible. That's
So
I mean, it shows in what you
Yeah.
all put together. I mean, looking at the website and everything, I mean, it's incredible. It looks fantastic. I mean, what you've done in a very short period of time. I know there's a lot of work that's going on behind the scenes that we don't get to see, but it's incredible. It's more than incredible. And I'm not surprised by the local support that you're getting, because what I can say is the service that you provided and the I would say, I'm not sure the, lack there of intrusiveness to the golf course that I would say that you posed was phenomenal when I was out there. So I'm not surprised that these golf courses aren't calling you, because it looked like they didn't have to do much to have this done. It was just 72 players or 68 players showing up to play golf at their golf course, and Jake is managing everything on the side.
Yeah.
So
I typically just say, hey, can you give me cart signs? I'll send you the cart signs. Can you just print them and have one of your guys, as he's pulling the carts out, throw the cart signs in? Yeah. And some courses do. Tiffany Greens, I had to do it myself because they were short staffed. I get it. That's fine, but that's why I'm at the golf course 3 hours early before the event starts. I go out, I set up my tees, I put up my close to the pin markers, I make sure the tees are aligning with the scorecard and what I've got written off. And we make sure everything's there, and I've got my own scorecards, rule sheets, everything. And my guys know where to check in. They know how the process works. They're not wandering around the clubhouse asking guys like, what am I doing? Where do I go? So that we try to make it as, if you don't make it easy on the golf course, they're not going to have you back. Right. You look at like Fred Urbanis. I talked to one of the guys that worked over there, and I said, the reason, he's like, why did we never do one of your events? And I said, man, I called up there about it, and whoever I talked to said that your guys' events start at $70, and that's like nothing. You don't do anything, and it's $70. And I said, I can book your tee times for $46. Right. Why would I pay $70 for an event? And he was like, yeah, that's not for people like you. He's like, we know how you run your events. We'd have done it for just rack rate. Like that wouldn't have been a problem. And I was like, well, it would have been nice to know that. And, and I said, because the course was nice. I haven't played it since the whole greens fiasco. Yeah. So I pray they get it back and, in the condition it used to be, because that's the course I grew up on. So I have some sentimental value to that golf course. That's where I learned to play golf. So, but yeah, it was kind of crazy to hear that that's what they wanted. And that's what they anticipate tournaments costing them, as far as we're going to lose a ton of tee times. We're going to have to have a ton of staff out here. We got drunk guys wrecking golf carts and, things like that. And I'm like, no, we don't have, it's super simple. You put in cart signs, I take care of everything else. Yeah. And so courses like that.
Yeah. It's a different, I don't want to say it is a different caliber of player that's coming out to do your tour, but I think they're there to golf. I mean, they're there to play golf and compete versus some of the other tournaments that might be going on out there. But
you could be a 20 handicap that likes to play scrambles, and that's fine. But if that's all you want to do, go do it, man. Have a good time. Right. But if you're a 20 handicap that wants to get better at golf, right, this is the best way, because this will identify your weaknesses. Nothing will identify your weaknesses like tournament golf.
No, totally. Even and I'm probably gonna, as I always do, I go all over the place, but like the live scoring was awesome. Like being able to check where you're at. My buddies were watching me. And the funny thing was I birdied the first hole in the great person of Mitch Bowen, who supports us all the time out at Sycamore Ridge. saw that and said, give it time. He has 17 more holes to go. so
Normally, if it's a tournament and I birdie the first hole, I just want to walk in because I know what the rest of the round's going to bring.
Yeah. It's like I have this thing where it's like if I had a great drive on the first hole, it kind of is a bad omen because it's like the shoulders drop and everything. If you get this, you hit a terrible shot, you kind of like, come on, get it together. Let's go. It's time to play. So I think I finished second out of 3, so good for me.
Yeah. The Division I, man, Division I is always the hardest. And that tournament, we had about, normally we end up with about 6 or 7 guys in Division I, but that is the hardest. Division I for me, Division I, Division V are definitely the hardest to grow because your Division V guys don't think they're good enough to play tournament golf.
Yeah.
Not knowing that you're playing against 10 other, 12 other, 15 other guys that don't think they're good enough to play tournament golf.
Yeah.
Right. None of them do. And so until they get out and experience it and realize like, man, I'm not the only guy that shot 103. Like,
right.
It's okay. And then Division I guys, again, we have so much competition in the city for those guys where some of our other cities that we have tours in, I think there's 40 chapters now. Some of those don't have anything like Central Links, which is catered towards your, scratch 1-2 handicap guys. But, we have the guy that won our national championship, I think is 58 years old in Division I, and he shot 2 under on final round at Pinehurst #2. So, I mean, we got some players that, at a national level, we got some players.
That's a dream right there.
Yeah. And so, the Division I guys that we want are the guys that not only can go out and shoot, high 60s to, low 70s on average, right? That's our goal. But we want the guys that want to do that, but they also want to travel. Like Central Links is just here, right? That's all you're playing is just Kansas City. We want the guys that want to do that locally. And then, our Branson trip coming up this year is going to be incredible. Stream Song, we've got TPC San Antonio, we've got Chambers Bay. I mean, there's so many good events that they can travel to that they don't get with the other ones. Because around here, the only tours that have Division I players is me and Central Links. The other 2 amateur tours, they don't have any Division I guys.
Yeah.
So it's me and Central Links. And if you like to travel and play them both. I don't see why we don't compete. They don't play the same days we do. So play both.
Yeah. There you go. It's that simple. So I'm going to toss it. I'm going to say, Dave, do you want to interject with any questions? Again, I've taken over the podcast.
Yeah. You've taken us all over North America and parts of Asia as well. We're all over the map.
This is an international tour.
It is now with you.
Well, it's in Canada.
Yeah.
Well, there you go.
That's
international. That works.
All right.
So I want to actually take a few steps back to some stuff that's been discussed. So you talked about some of the discounts with your national partners and things like that. So let's talk about somebody like me who's interested in getting into the Amateur Players Tour. What's the upfront cost? What else am I getting besides those discounts? And then what other fees am I looking at throughout the season as it goes?
Okay. So our registration, right, our annual membership, which is nice because it's consistent all across the board, $125. That's your annual membership. Whether you join here, St. Louis, Memphis, Tampa, it's $125. You'll see some of our competitors. One guy's $78, one guy's $95, one guy's $175. They're all over the board. We're $125, and it's simple. So what that gets you, obviously the national partners we've talked about. The goodie bags, they kind of keep changing based on availability of supplies, right? Like I have 2 businesses as well, and we've just ordered, oh my gosh, we waited 5 months for hats to show up. And we had to change the style of hat like 3 times, so it's tough what we want to put in there and what we can get. And those goodie bags aren't always the same thing. Right. So we've ordered, we put this order back in June for our anticipated membership this year. The towels that we give away are like legit towels, super nice logo towels. The hats, you do the Flex Fit 110s. So they're like the good expensive hats. So you get the really nice hats. And then we have the store, obviously, that you can go buy other hats and merchandise. And they're in talks. I don't know. They won't even tell us yet. So I can't tell you guys, but we're in talks with another potential national sponsor that would kind of change the game as far as what we have in those goodie bags. Mm-hmm. So if that takes off, then who knows? But
we can spoil it. It's Gripping Golf Podcast. We're going to give everyone iPhones and AirBuds, AirPods, whatever they're called, and they can listen to it. They're going to come preloaded, subscribed, downloaded all the episodes, and they can listen anytime they want to. No,
so the goodie bags, they're going to have some of your basic stuff in there. That you get the ball markers and things like that, but it's just tough right now. Like last year we had a deal with Next Belt, right? Where they were giving us a really great price on a belt that had our like a logoed belt buckle in it and everything else, and then they couldn't get supplies, so they pulled the plug on us.
Oh, dang.
So that was something that a lot of guys were looking forward to. So what we ended up doing was we ended up getting and guys loved it, we got yardage book covers that had their name on it. So if you joined by, I think it was February 1st, then you got a yardage book cover with your name embossed on it. And so guys love that. We were going to do a second delivery of that because the guys that didn't get it were like, I want one, because it had their name on it, Amateur Players Tour. And they had to have it. So we put a second order in, paid for it. And then they came back, I don't know, 3 months later and said, we can send you about 100.
Wow.
And we needed another like 1,800.
Wow. Supply.
Yeah. And they said, they don't know when they can fill the order. So, the little trinket stuff, Dave, as far as what comes in the goodie bag, it's tough, man. It's ever changing.
Yeah.
And that sucks because I've got, we talked about this beforehand, but one of my businesses, I've got about $200,000 in hardware that has been back ordered since October.
Wow. Jeez.
So, the supply chain is tough, man. It's
sure.
We're trying to build partnerships with people that can deliver product, and Turtleson's been great. 2Under's been great. Motive's been great. I don't know if I can say it yet, so I'm not going to say it, but we do have another partner that just hopped on board. Mm-hmm. I don't know if it's been made public yet. But it's nice stuff as well. It's another belt company that will have our logoed belts, and they'll be on the store where guys can buy them on the store.
Nice.
So, because we do have our own shop, you can literally go to the website and click on the shop up top, and they've got all sorts of logoed stuff in there. And that's stuff that we actually have in stock in St. Louis. Mm. So those guys we buy like $100,000 of that inventory to have on hand to sell.
Yeah. The pro shop.
Yep.
Pro shop. Yep.
Nice. Okay. So I've paid my $125. I got my goodie bag, which may vary, which is totally fine because, it is what it is. Tell me about entering an event from there. Like, so I'm a member now. Does that grant me access to every event? How does that all work?
Yep. You can play in any local event and any event nationwide. Any of the majors. That gets you into everything except nationals, right? There are some restrictions on nationals, but it gets you into every event that you want to play in and every major. The one thing I will say is our Paynes Valley tournament in Branson and over 4th of July weekend, that sold out a month ago.
Wow.
So yeah, dang. So these things go quick. We sold out Whistling Straits last year. We've got Chambers Bay this year. That's getting pretty close. Stream Song's getting pretty close to being sold out. And Chambers Bay is not till Labor Day weekend. So, but you get to go play 2 rounds of Chambers Bay for $400. So, our local events, the one-day events, they're going to range between $95 and $125, depending on the course. You've got Shoal Creek. It's almost $90 to play a round of golf out there now. Mm. If you take Shoal Creek Saturday or Sunday tee time, range balls and tacks, you're almost $95. Mm-hmm. So, obviously we have trophies, prize pool, everything else. So, because we don't do just a prize pool for the tournament, we do a season-long prize pool as well. So I take money from every player from every event, put that in a season-long prize pool. Last year we did something pretty cool. It was $250 paid out to the points leader in each division and a Visa gift card. And then I took all the guys over to Lake Quivira Country Club. I took the top 3 in each division, invited them over to Lake Quivira Country Club. They gave me tee times on a Sunday afternoon. And we went out, and I told them, I said, all right, top 3 in Division 1, top 3 in Division 2. They played in their group. I said, I don't care how you guys play it. You can play where everybody gets to throw the ball one time on every hole. I don't care. This is just for fun. Yeah. Go out, decide your rules in your group. Whoever wins will win another $250 gift card. And so some guys ended up getting $500 for winning the season long. Some guys got $250, and maybe third place got another $250, So that's what your individual tournament fees go towards. And then you can play in the majors and all that stuff. One of the cool things we implemented this year, and it was mainly for the majors, but we've done it locally as well, is the deposit balance feature. So let's say you don't have $800 to pay for Paynes Valley right now, or you weren't planning on it right now, holiday season, everything else, but you want to get in before it's sold out. Right now, what they've done is this year, local directors have the option to do it, which I've done it. But on majors, you pay a 25% deposit and you get your spot held, and they will automatically deduct it when registration closes for that event. Okay. So locally for me, when these tournaments were selling out and I had 10 guys on a waiting list last year for some of these events, some guys were like, man, I just kind of had to wait till, make sure that we had something that might come up. Okay, well, now you can just do, you pay $25 now. And then when the event closes, registration closes 4 or 5 days before the event, it'll automatically withdraw the other $80. If you give me notice ahead of time, you just pay a cancellation fee, and that's it. $5 or $10 cancellation fee, and you get your other $20 back.
That's pretty nice. Guarantee your spot, essentially. Yeah. Yeah,
you guarantee your spot without having to come out. If you want to play all the majors, you don't have to pay $3,000 today. You just pay the 25% down, and then that, okay, I got to have X amount of dollars in my account before that comes up. So some guys it doesn't affect, but a lot of guys it does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for the average golfer that it does affect, it's a great thing that we've done to have that option for those guys to not miss out on those opportunities. The one thing I will say is this is also where registering early comes into effect, because we opened registration November 1st for the new year. And like I said, by mid-December, Paynes Valley was sold out at 100. I think it's 144 players.
It's amazing.
Wow. So, and it's $799. So, it's not a cheap tournament, but I mean, they've raised Paynes Valley. I don't know if you've seen the price of that course now, but it's like $435 to play Paynes Valley, and you got to stay on property.
Yeah. Which isn't cheap.
Yeah. So, that's inclusive of my stay, right? No.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. I remember when we went down there, because I love Buffalo Ridge is probably my favorite course in the state. And so we used to go down there and play all the time. We could play Buffalo Ridge for $100.
Yeah.
Now I think it's like $250, $275 to play.
Yeah.
And they Johnny Miller's just like, you know what? I don't care. If you want to play my courses, you're going to stay at my resort and you're going to pay.
Yeah. He's not hurting for money, it seems like.
No.
I think I played Buffalo Springs it was probably 3 or 4 years ago. It was probably $70 would be my guess. It wasn't that expensive.
Yeah. If you do it during the week.
That's one of the coolest driving ranges to stand on there early in the morning just to look at. It's so pretty.
Yeah. That course is just amazing, man.
It is an amazing golf course. We played it in
first time I played it was with my dad, and we went down there, and it was a Friday morning, I think. And they said, hey, just please don't hit at the Buffalo. And I'm like, okay. Buffalo, When we get to the first tee box, and I'm like, I look over, there's like 30 feet from me, there's like 3 buffalo. And I'm like, they weren't joking. Like, there are huge freaking buffalo there. And that one little piece of wood between me and them.
Yeah.
I'm not going to be hitting golf balls at those guys.
Yeah. No. Very large. Yeah.
Not intentionally, at least.
Yeah.
Right.
No kidding. Yeah. That's awesome.
So Jake, it sounds like there's room for golfers like myself that maybe just want to try out tournament. I didn't play golf in high school on the high school team or anything like that. The only experience with tournament golf I've had is like KC Cup competitions. So it sounds like there's room for somebody like myself that, I put down the $125. I pick a course that I want to play a tournament at, pay the fee, and that's all fine and good. But it also sounds like the ultimate goal for you is that you want to pull me in to be like a year-long player. Is that right on both sides?
Well, I mean, ideally, we would love people to play, and most of the time, I would say we convert probably 80% of our guests to, full-time members. Some guys just physically can't play that many, maybe their kids have baseball or soccer on the weekends or whatever it may be. So they'll try to get out when they can, but you can play 2 one-day events as a guest. And so then your guest fee, the only thing you pay as a guest fee is it's $20. So you pay whatever the tournament fee is, and you pay $20 for a guest fee. And what I do is, let's say you play that one event as a guest and you're like, man, I love it. Sign me up. I'll put that $20 towards your membership.
Nice.
So then your membership only becomes $105.
Yeah,
but you can play 2 one-day events as a guest or 1 2-day as a guest.
Nice.
So after that, it's a matter of protecting the members in the field. The guys that feel like, hey, I've paid to be a member. I've played in all these events, and this guy's played in 5 events, hasn't paid his membership, and he's won 3 of them. Like, this isn't fair. So, and we track our members' indexes as well, based on our tournaments. So, helps keep the sandbagging down. We actually have a handicap committee. So we have, I think there's 5 guys now, that directors, and I think we're going to bring on a couple members as well, tour members, and let them review when a player is going to move. If a player shoots well beyond, like he's at a national major, he shoots out of his range, they start looking at everything. They start looking at, does he have a registered gin? Especially if he's a new player. If you've got 10 tournaments with us and you've never broke 80, and then you go out and you fire off a 74 and have the best round of your life, we just know it's the best round of your life.
Right.
But if we don't know anything about you, it may be your first or second event, and you say you're a Division III guy and you come out and you shoot 69, okay, we got a problem, And so, but as far as people moving flights and adjusting stuff like that, we actually have a handicap committee that reviews every single player. They do this before every major tournament. Every major, they'll go through all 144 people. If we don't have a history on them with APT, they'll go through and check GIN, look for them in other tournaments, our competitors' tournaments, and try to find an index on these people to try to verify that they're, if you got a GIN of 1 and you join D3, well, why do all your recent GIN scores show you shooting low 70s and then you join Division III? And they'll contact the player and ask him. And a lot of guys just go, I'm nervous. I don't know what I'm going to shoot in a tournament. Those are just rounds with my buddies. And they could truly be a D3 player, who uses all the foot wedges and gimmies and mulligans in the world. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
So, I had a D1 guy 3 years ago. He didn't get competitive until we dropped down to D4.
Yeah.
He started 2 events in D1, didn't break 90.
I think you were telling this story when I was out at Adams Point. You were talking about this, that that same thing of they think they're this great player. Nothing against that person, but it's just like they're saying they don't know competitive golf. They're going out and playing on the weekends with their buddies, and I didn't play the rules the way they're supposed to. That's
right. You never make a putt inside of 3 feet because you're just picking them up.
Well, we know I can't make a putt inside 3 feet. Just
I can't either. That's why I have 3 putting mats.
It's a completely different element.
Yes.
And in his defense, thank God he was cool with it. He was like, man, I'm not a D1 player. I realize that. So he moved down to D3 and he was still getting waxed. So he went to D4 and I think his second tournament D4, he actually won. Mm-hmm. And then he got moved up to D3 and he finished the season in D3 and he played all that year. And then about 3 events the next year, then he moved out of state, and he's on a different one of the other tours. I don't know if he's still with my old tour or if he's made the transition, but he loved it. He was still, like, hey man, you run a great event. And that's, I felt like I've always run good events. And that's why I've had the following that I was able to amass in Kansas City, was because we did run good events. I've just learned a lot, from joining APT and seeing what it can become when you really focus on the players. And that's where we kind of changed, and I changed as far as, I'm not going to play in my events anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to focus on trying to give them the experience and be there for the players and get to know them all and be visible on the golf course. So,
I think that's great. And, somebody like myself, that's curious about it, again, hasn't played tournament golf really before. That's the kind of stuff that I like to hear as somebody, you know, I can try it before I buy it, so to speak. I can know that these safeguards are put into place, and if I fall flat on my face, you know, I'm probably not the first person to do that, nor will I be. And so, but from there, what I do want to ask is, you've brought up the divisions several times. How are the divisions broken up, and how would I know which division is right for me?
So 2 ways. One, we have a brand new members manual online. We've simplified it, made it really easy to find all the information. So you go to amateurplayerstour.com, right there at the top, you can look at the members manual, download that, and actually that walks you through everything. But a simple breakdown: 3.4 and below, Division 1, 3.5 to 8.4, Division 2, 8.5 to 13.4, Division 3, 13.5 to 18.4, Division 4, 18.5 and above, Division 5.
Okay. So there's literally a home for everybody.
There is a home for everybody.
Do you have those memorized, or did you?
I do have those memorized.
Okay. I'm just curious. You said those very like just bam. I was like, man, that was impressive.
Yeah.
So.
No, I don't have anything up on my screen except your face.
I'm glad
we're sorry
mine.
for that.
Yeah. I'm glad it's mine, not Dave's. Dave's is terrible.
Yeah, that's why I allowed my light to go out. Actually, just ran out of charge.
Nice.
right as we were starting. It was perfect timing. So
Nice.
All right, so we're paying into the tournaments. We got our tournament fees. What's a typical payout if somehow I place in a tournament in say, is there a payout beyond first place? How does that structure work?
So we typically pay out we'll pay out 1 spot for every 7 competitors. So if I have 22 guys, I'm going to pay out three spots. Last year we did 6. I think this year we're going to go to 7, just as the tour grows and we get more and more players. But yeah, so it just depends on the tournament, depends on the entry. Because we put a set amount. Usually for me, it's a minimum of $20, but usually it's 25 that I put in the prize pool for that particular event. So $25 in the tournament per player. So if you've got 10 players in your flight, then you've got a $250 prize pool there. And so if it's 10 players, we're going to pay out 2 spots. I'll probably pay out something like 175 and 75. So for first and second, and it's all in Visa gift cards. So there's no gift certificates to the golf shop. There's no pro shop credit. There's one of our competitors does that at national championship. You've got to spend the money before you leave town at the pro shop.
Yeah.
That's not, it's just not how we do it. It's just Visa gift cards. You can use them wherever you want to use them.
Yeah.
Nice.
So the pro shop credit's fine for the 4-man scramble situation. Just not.
Right.
Did you get much pushback from the golf courses by doing that? Just curious of going the Visa gift card way or
no, because I've never done it that way. I've never, some courses, the first year we did it would say, hey, it's this much to play, it's $65 and $5 a person is pro shop credit.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And so typically what I would do is I would take that money and I would go buy
stuff.
Yeah. Stuff to give away. Yeah. I'd go buy them out of Pro V1s or whatever it might be. Yeah. And then I would just give them away for, hey, we'll do some more proxies. Whoever got second and third on the close to the pin, you get a dozen Pro V1, whatever it may be, versus giving every player $5 to try to go spend at a pro shop.
Yeah.
It just, I just would lump it together in one big gift card and go buy stuff and give it away.
Get a towel. So, that one that you don't want to give away.
Yeah. One of them actually worked out pretty good because I split it into 2. And I think I had like $600 in pro shop credit or something like that, $500 in pro shop credit. So I did like a $200 gift card, and then I went and bought a bunch of stuff and gave it away. And then I did a third, because I usually do 2 close to the pins, one on the front 9, one on the back 9. I did an extra one on one of the long holes, and it was $200 gift card to the pro shop.
That's nice. Heck yeah.
So I don't mind. But
of course you don't.
Yeah, there's no requirements on our gift cards as far as where you have to spend stuff. So no, we don't. Like I said, don't get a lot of pushback. We've got a pretty good relationship with the courses where they don't. Actually all of them have dropped that requirement too.
Nice.
So I've not had any of them after the second year force me to buy and pay into that gift card thing. They're just like, here's your fee. You guys are good.
Good for you.
Nice.
Awesome.
That's awesome.
So
Really the last question that I have written down anyhow is how many local events are you planning for this season?
I think we have 12 this year, 11 local, and then one with the so we have a new tour starting up. Jamal and Otis started up the Mid-Missouri tour. So Jamal belongs to, I think it's Country Club of Columbia. And so they're going to start one up kind of in that area. So we're doing a joint venture on Friday, May 6th at Mules National.
Ooh.
So yeah, great little track, a lot of fun. And I mean, I think the 18th green being the fact that it's a Friday, people don't have to, they're not having to rush home or do anything like that. They can, 18th green might get a little rowdy with people hitting balls in the water.
Yes.
So I'll try to keep them all calm because the scoring tent will be right back there. But it'll be fun to kind of see that come in and see the guys hanging out up top and having some drinks and some food and watching guys come in and finish on the island green. So, but yeah, that's kind of where we're at locally. And then nationally, there's a boatload of them. Mm-hmm. There's, I think, 9 big majors, 8 big majors.
Like, and you can find it on the website too under schedule. Pretty.
Yep.
Pretty.
You
good.
go schedule. There's local tour ones, or you can click on the majors. You can do the whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, some of our, we've got some local chapters that have got some awesome. The Iowa, Paul up in Iowa. I mean, Iowa's got so many good golf courses that people just don't even know about. It's like Nebraska. Nebraska's got so many good golf courses. Now they're spread out quite a bit, but so Paul's got some real gems up in Iowa. Larry's starting up down in Arkansas, and his area of Arkansas has got some really good golf courses. So I try to encourage my players to, travel and go play and support the smaller tours that are starting up, because you don't want to feel defeated, but when I started out, I took over a tour that was having some major issues. We had a director that had his hand in the pot, people's prize pools. And so I took over a tour that not only didn't have hardly any members, but it was kind of had a negative connotation with it, and was able to turn that around. So these guys, I help a lot of these guys try to figure out how to build a chapter and what they need to do to make it successful. And you can't get discouraged if you have small events your first year. You're not going to have 70-person fields, but that's what they're playing in. So that's what they kind of think they're going to get to right away. And it's not going to happen. It's tough. So try to get my guys to go out and support those guys. I'm going to go down to the Mid-Missouri chapter. Their first event is the Country Club of Columbia. So, which is a great track if you never played it. It's a really nice, it's a really nice golf course. Really? So I'm going to go down there with them. I'm not going to play, but I'm going to take some guys down there with me. I'll probably go down on Saturday before the event, and because it'll be their first event. So I'm going to go down with them. They've played on the tour, but which is why we thought they might be good. They had the interest in doing this, and our national office, they interview guys multiple times before they'll accept a chapter owner. So I think they've probably turned down 30 chapter owners, 40 chapter owners that have approached them about becoming a chapter owner. Wow. But you have to, your vision has to align. So, nice. And your energy has to align. And Jamal and Otis are great. Otis and Jamal do a golf tour for minorities to try to, bring golf to that segment, which has largely been, underrated. You talk, who are the guys they own a clothing company that is, I don't know if they do podcasting, but minority owned clothing company for golf. But that's a really cool thing that those guys have got going, and Jamal and Otis have started that kind of stuff out in Columbia. So it was kind of a natural thing for them to really kind of bring that to the APT as well, which is awesome. So I think they're going to do really well there, but I'm excited to go down there. So I'll go down on Saturday, and this is a big part of what differentiates us from anybody else. I'm going to go down on Saturday to meet with them, to go over all their stuff in blue golf and how they have their tournament set up and make sure everything's right. Oh. And then Sunday, I'll sit there and I'll work the event with them. I'll make sure they stay on time. They get their announcements done. They get everybody checked in. They have all their stuff in Blue Golf done properly. So that way they're not out just figuring it out on their own as they go, which is what you're stuck with the other tours. Mm-hmm. So, that kind of support and camaraderie and the help that everybody provides each other is phenomenal. It's the culture we have between the directors is second to none.
Well, it's not like you're pretty rare breed too, is what I would say. Don't sell yourself short there. You're doing a phenomenal job of helping all these people. That's incredible.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I had the same help my first tournament at Falcon Lakes last year. Mm-hmm. It was a whole new computer system for me using the Blue Golf system. And Blue Golf has been fantastic. Like hats off to Blue Golf. If we need a change made specifically for our tour, they have gone in and changed it. Wow. We've had guys go up there and meet with them. I think they're Philadelphia, and go up there and meet with them and at their corporate office and walk them through why we need certain things a certain way. And they have made the changes almost instantly. Like those guys have been on top of it, but it was a new system for me. And so Matt Borgmeyer, one of the St. Louis directors, he drove up that morning before my tournament. So he drove up 2.5 hours. We teed off at 9. He drove up that morning, got up at like 4:00, drove up, helped me set up the tournament, went out with me, set up tee boxes, helped me make sure everything was perfect. He showed me how he does everything. Here's my spreadsheet. Here's all this stuff. Put it all on my computer. I mean, really just helped me become efficient and running, setting up the tournament, not stressing over it. And so that was huge. We do Zoom calls about it was when we first started out, it was every week. All the directors and Matt and Jody got on a Zoom call to go over the processes and make sure everybody's on the same page. Now we've kind of simmered it down, but it's about twice a month now, especially as we start to ramp into season. We do Zoom calls about twice a month. We just did a director's retreat in San Antonio at Briggs Ranch, which was incredible as part of the Dormy network. So that was fantastic. And there was, I think, 24 of us down there, and just the bonding. And we had, Matt did a great presentation on media and marketing and, how we can focus on bringing this to different people and getting more and more people involved. And then just hanging out, having dinner, having some drinks, playing cards, golfing, it was a blast, man. And I hardly knew any directors' names from my old tour. I knew Matt.
Oh,
that was it. I didn't hardly know a single director other than Matt. So it's a different experience and that I think we can transfer that to the players a lot easier when you have that experience with your directors.
Yeah, it'll trickle down for sure. I mean, you playing in one event last year, I definitely felt it that you cared, and I would say I would vouch behind you 100% that you didn't look stressed at all. It was like, I've
done this before.
I was like, man, I'd be like, what? Where is everybody? No.
No. And my wife, she did the registration, I think, for that event. Mm-hmm. And she was a huge help. And, for the last few years, been sitting out there running the registration, the check-in table for me. And then it allowed me to go play. And then I finally decided, you know what? I don't want to do that, because if she has a question, I want to be able to answer that right then and there. Because I was on my phone. I'd have players asking me, like, how do I play this drop off a cart path? And I'm on like the 4th hole trying to play golf, So now it's like, okay, she still comes out and does registration when she's available, but her schedule's kind of switched. But having the APT, the way we do things has made it to where even if she can't make it out, it's not the end of the world for me, where it used to be like, oh crap, what am I going to do? So, now I enjoy having her there. The guys enjoy having her there because they're like, your wife has this shit down. Like she knows this, and I'm like, yeah, she's been doing it for a while with me, So it's nice to have her there. Cause then I'm on the tee box, just talking with the guys and just getting to know them. How's the wife? How's the kids, and then do my announcements. And she's over there checking people in, taking money for skins, handing out scorecards, she knows what she's doing. Mm-hmm. So it's been great to have that, but the way we do it, where it's just, you go to the first tee, you get there, you get your range balls, you don't have to do any, you don't have to go find somebody or do anything else. And then, all right, my tee time's up in 12 minutes. You hop in your cart, it's got your name on it, and you head over to the tee box. Yeah. And then we're right there. You pay for your skins games, you get your scorecards. I go over rules, and then boom, we start doing announcements for, it's a 12-10 group next on the tee from wherever you're from, Lenexa, Kansas is Billy Daniels, you know?
I just got nervous again.
So, you know, it's
I felt a pull hook coming on just as you were saying that.
Oh no, I hit 5 iron off the first tee and smoked it down there. I birdied the first hole.
No, I'm saying for me, if it was me being announced. Yeah.
For sure.
You know, and I've played in tournaments. So I played all through high school and I quit golf for 13 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I picked it back up when I was 31 and I started playing tournament golf again when I was like 34.
Yeah.
And I still get nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I get nervous in a Saturday game standing on the first tee with 12 guys staring at you, right?
Yeah.
The first tee gets me normally, but after a while I'm fine. But yeah, there's some times you're like, man, do not mess this up, you know?
Yeah.
But, wow.
Me making jokes with everybody is me trying not to be nervous.
Yeah. Right.
I don't want to hook one here.
Yeah.
It's definitely different than it was my first year, but I still get them, you know, I still get the butterflies.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
I for sure still do.
Yeah.
My adrenaline just goes through the roof. Like I cannot calm myself down. I'm like, let's go. So.
Well, it's funny for me is that, you know, with the flight I was in, they're all guys I played a lot with the same guys that I play with on the weekends or during the week. And, you know, like, I don't know, I played 900 rounds of golf with this guy and I still get nervous on the first tee of a tournament with the same guy.
Yeah.
Like,
exactly.
why am I, this guy has seen me shank balls. He's seen me pure them. He's, you know, like, why am I nervous?
Yeah.
But you still get nervous. I don't get it.
Yeah.
It's not him. It's everybody else looking at you there.
Yeah. It is interesting to think that, like, you can play, like we played, I think in the Spring Hill Invitational, I played with 3 people that I played pretty much the whole year with, and still in that first tee, I'm like, oh gosh, don't mess this up. It's like,
well, I mean, let's be honest.
Counts.
Sycamore Ridge, that first tee makes anybody nervous.
Oh my gosh, it is such a, like, love the hole, but come on, it's so hard.
Man, you put that all the way at the back. That's a tough golf hole into that prevailing wind.
Yeah.
That is a tough hole to start it, because the first hole I'm usually trying to hit like a little slap cut driver just to find the ball. And then I do that. I'm still 220 yards away. And I'm like, that's over water with crap everywhere. Like, this is not what you want to leave yourself.
Trees everywhere. Yeah.
Trees, creeks, bunkers. Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a layup hole.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
So,
well, Jake, give me like a 30-second. I'm thinking about Amateur Players Tour. Sell it to me in 30 seconds. It's make me gonna want to go and register for an event right now.
Well, you got to play the best public courses in Kansas City. You get the best tournament golf, the best tournament experience, and you're going to meet the best people. So you can't fail by coming out and playing Amateur Players Tour.
Done. I'm in.
I just signed up online while you were saying that. No.
Yeah, come on out. Come on out, man. It is a good time. We got great people. You know, I've had to uninvite 2 people in my 6 years now of running events. I've had to uninvite 2 people just because of personality.
Wow.
And I have no problem doing it.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're going to cause a problem for other players, I don't need you.
Yeah.
You know, it is tournament golf, but man, we're still out here to have a good time, right? We're not playing. It's not the FedEx Cup. You know, nobody's winning $1 million.
Not yet.
You should come out and just, not yet. Just come out and enjoy it, you know, have a good time, try to meet people. That's kind of the whole idea, is just the camaraderie and the experience of meeting new golfers. I mean, honestly, when I took over the old tour, 3 of now definitely my best friends are guys I met playing golf in the tour. And I talk to those guys almost every day, you know? Mm-hmm. So it's always, every year I'm getting new people. We travel and we get VRBOs to these big majors, and we invite new people to stay with us. And you know, you just meet great people, and it's a blast. So
awesome. That's awesome.
Wonderful.
Good time.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, Jake, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. For talking about, you know, Amateur Players Tour and telling us all about it. We really enjoyed hearing about it. So yeah.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. And we'll hopefully talk to you soon about something else.